We're
Hi,
live. We are.
Uh-oh. We're waiting on Levon here. Just 1 second. What'd you say? She went to Lavania?
Yeah, I think Levon's got she's got some storms going on in her area, so she might be hit and miss unless she decides to go upstairs with her phone, maybe.
Yeah, it's
But if she comes back, just click her in. We'll see how long she lasts.
Well, welcome to the 20 May episode of the Flippin' Bunch, and we are doing Flippin' Chaos this evening. And I'm just going to go ahead and well, actually, you ready, Dar? I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce. And
I'm ready. Hello. My name is Dar. I am from DIYs by Dar. I've been a furniture artist for 5 years. I am a brand ambassador for Made by Marley Decoupage Paper Company, but they sell other things there too, really cool stuff. I have a local shop where I sell in a boutique, and I'm on Etsy and also Amazon and eBay, but I really don't have too much on there right now. And I do this for distraction, for pain, and for my health, and that's it.
Okay, Jenna, you're up.
I'm Jenna, Junk Princess. Hi, everybody. Co-owner of Junk Princess, furniture artist. We have a small shop in downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I love to paint furniture.
And hopefully Levon is coming on.
Her. There she is.
She's a little bit I think she has some weather issues, so.
Yeah, she's still froze. Go ahead, Mara.
Okay. I feel like she's in front of the event horizon. If you've ever watched
ready to tip over.
Anyway, I'm Mara Fanning, and I have Borderline Furniture, and I like furniture in all states of disrepair. And I really like the challenge of just bringing something that's old or outdated back to life again. So that is me. I just don't know. We're going to press on this evening because Levon is, like I said, she looks like she's in the event horizon. So this evening, what we're going to be talking about is Flippin' Chaos. And this is going to be sort of those things that we do to ourselves or have done to ourselves that have just probably caused us more problems than helped us. And we're going to talk about the things that got in our way and then some ways we overcome it. So anyway, let's get into the slides for today. Oh yeah, perfect. It set it up just like I wanted. Okay, so these are the lessons that we learned so that you don't have to. And then we are going to talk about, let me go to the next slide. We're going to talk about all of those things that have caused us to have a flipping chaos mess. And the first one I want to talk about is time pressure. And so how many of us have rushed to meet deadlines, or we've forgotten that we need to do a cure time on something, and the big one for me is YouTube deadlines. Does anybody relate to that? Oh, let me add her.
All the time.
All the time?
Every project.
Yeah. And then I think too, Jenna, you also have customers that you have deadlines for. Like you're doing a commission piece.
99% of my business is custom orders.
So, and then environmental issues, that is a big one for me because heat causes a lot of problems with paint. If you read on the can of paint, it'll say the optimal temperatures. And here in Texas, it's so hot. Michigan, obviously, you've got cold, right? And then a lot of times I find myself looking at the calendar. If I know I have to paint outside, I'll be looking at the calendar to see, or not the calendar, but the weather, just to see whether or not we're going to have whether it's going to rain or whether it's going to be excessively hot. And then, I have to plan my day around that. So environmental issues. And then, of course, our human factors, such as distractions. And I want to know how many of you multitask where you have more than one project going on at a time?
You're asking us? You're asking us that question?
Yes.
Yeah, I usually try to. I might have a large and a small going on at the same time. Just so if I'm waiting for drying times on something and I've got that time where nothing else is going on and I can be working on some projects, then that time I'm taking that time, which for me could be 4 hours to 6 hours a day. Or if I'm up against some of them other time pressures like deadlines, to get things on up for videos, it can go up to 8 to 12 hours a day, depending on how fast I have to push it. So yeah, I work on more than one.
So
it's a smart thing to do.
Have you ever missed a step, or what do I want to say, like you didn't account for things, like I'm going to say like process problems, like you skipped a step because you were more distracted by those other projects that you had coming up?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Sure. I will do things, and then after it's messed up, I ask myself the question, you know better than to do that, Dar. Why did you not do the right process to take care of that? Why did you skip that step that you knew you should have taken? Because now you've just created another problem for yourself, and it's going to take you longer to backtrack and fix it or longer to get it done. I don't know. What about you, Jenna? Do you ever do that?
It's funny. Just the other day before yesterday, I had actually messaged Levon asking if she ever used the Pen Art Fine Line Crackle. My first time using it, and I was distracted on something else I was working on. And I know better than to do that. I'm a one project at a time kind of person, and I need to stay that way. So I put on the coat of paint, I put on the sealer, and it was time for the transfer. But I was so distracted by what I had to do on the other piece. I went and put on the first coat of the Fine Line Crackle before my transfer. I was so disturbed because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to be able to put the transfer on or not. It turned out fine in the end, but man.
Did you go ahead and put that transfer on over the crackle?
Let me tell you. So after I got the second coat on and got it dried, the transfer went on to that crackle better than any surface I've ever put a transfer on.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So I literally put it down and I went like this over it with my hand and peeled it. And I just peeled it up. I didn't have to rub at all.
Oh, wow.
I wiped it with my hand. That was it.
So we call those happy accidents.
Yes.
Yeah. Did it pick up the crackle lines in your transfer?
No. Yes. Some of the crackle is. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I wish it was more, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I typically, I'm pretty leery about using new products. I like to test them out, so that's one of those process things that happens, because you don't want to get a new product on and find out you're unhappy with it, and then you have it, you have to strip it back or whatever, repaint over it. Yeah. And then I guess the last one really does kind of the overload problems. And I have to ask you guys, tools. And, doing too much, I've got all my tools spread out. Do you ever have issues like you're looking for that one screwdriver, you're looking for that one scraper, and you can't find it because you got everything spread out all over?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Continual.
All the time. I'm in the house.
Yep. Okay. Well, you are not alone. So these are the things that can add to it. I'm going to run a quick video, kind of how the process that I use to try to stay on track. So you just have to bear with me.
The first thing I do is clean, and not because it's fun, but because it gets me right up close and I can actually see what I'm dealing with. Once I start wiping things down, that's when all the secrets show up. I can spot damage I missed, broken pieces, or cheap hardware, all the stuff you don't notice when it's dirty or fully assembled. Like on this one, the hardware looked fine from a distance, but when I got up close, it was super cheap. The drawers, there's several that need to be glued. And these cracks, I didn't even see them until everything was apart. Cleaning is basically my inspection phase, and that tells me the truth about the piece before I waste time on anything else. When everything's clean, I make a list of repairs. Nothing fancy, just what's broken and what needs glue, what needs clamps, and what needs to be filled. That's the list. That's my roadmap for the whole project. From there, I prioritize staining first. Stain has cure times, not necessarily dry times, and if you rush it, it will absolutely come back to haunt you. So anything that needs stained gets done early so it can cure while I work on the other steps. Think of it as multitasking. Once the repair is done and the stain is curing, I move to the painting. I don't paint till everything is prepped. All the holes are filled, the cracks are fixed, the drawers are sliding right, and all the boring stuff that makes the finish look good. Prep is what makes the paint look clean and intentional. And for me, hardware is usually last. That's when I install the new poles, the new legs, any kind of braces or whatever kind of hardware needs to be put in place. That's the flow. Cleaning, repairs, staining, painting, and hardware. Keeps everything moving and nothing gets rushed. And the final piece usually looks like it was worth the work.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to go back to, I wish I could remove that slide 3 on the bottom. I hope people can't see this. Anyway, so again, I just kind of showed you a quick overview of my process when I work, just to keep me on track. Some projects I don't need to do this with, but if I find that I have a long list of things, when I'm cleaning, I just start making a list of what needs to be fixed, and I find more and more things. So the first thing I always do is clean. Then I do repairs. If I'm doing staining, or if I have a cure time, like for instance, those 2-part epoxies, they have a cure time. It might take 24 hours. Then I switch to my paint or my design if I'm going to, decoupage. And then finally, the hardware is always the last part for me. So we're going to actually get into each one of these. And first thing I want to do is talk about cleaning. So, oops, let me go to the next slide. So, yeah, for cleaning, the importance of cleaning first. I knew this lady who said, I will never buy furniture from this person because they never clean their furniture prior to painting. And maybe some of you guys can attest to issues with where somebody has or you have not thoroughly cleaned something and paint didn't stick.
Something I saw on a YouTube video?
What's that?
Can I attest to something I saw on a YouTube video?
Oh, absolutely.
I was watching a lady doing refinishing a bread box. So she was so proud of the piece she had done prior, and it was clean and the paint job came out good. And then she moved on to the bread box. So she rolled up the top and it was filled with mouse droppings.
Oh,
They were everywhere.
Oh,
and
my
she
goodness.
proceeded to clean it with Windex.
Oh,
And then she just started painting. Like literally, she cleaned it with Windex and then started painting. I was so disturbed watching her. I had to remove myself from that channel because I'm thinking, then she's gonna sell it, and heaven forbid she only cleaned it with Windex and then painted over droppings. I was so disturbed.
that's a good story, or not.
Right, or not. Yeah, I'll tell you the user later.
So, just every time I do a video, I always make sure to emphasize that I cleaned it, or, even if I don't fully address, I might say, well, this was cleaned, I just didn't film it. I just want people to realize that, we do have to clean these pieces because it allows that paint to stick. And then while doing research, Vinegar is actually, and I've seen some people use vinegar to clean, and it's actually not advised because it can cause issues with the paint sticking, and I didn't realize that.
If you don't rinse it, it will.
Oh yeah, if you don't rinse it, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even if you miss a spot, when you're rinsing, even if you miss a little tiny spot, that's where you get fish eye. Ask me how I know.
Oh, that's good to know.
Because that's what I use. I use cleaning vinegar.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, if you don't get every single inch of that off, you get fish eye.
What's fish eye?
You never seen fish eye? That means you clean your pieces spectacularly. Well, fish eye is a form of resist. It looks like a fish's eye, and the paint won't settle down into the inside of it. And it literally, I'll send you some pictures. It literally looks like a fish's eye.
Well, I wonder if vinegar has some type of oil in it or something.
That's what I wondered too, because I couldn't believe that it did it. I mean, I've had it do that with dish soap, not get rinsed all the way, but it does it with vinegar too.
Yeah, it says it
I use
etches
vinegar sometimes, and I've never really had a problem with it, but good to know. And
it can etch or dull the finish, and it reacts with certain primers or paints. So
I also wanted to say, you mentioned that you didn't film the cleaning, and you want to make a point to say that. It's true, you should, because this was a couple years ago, I had someone say that you didn't clean the piece, but it was kind of an extensive, a lot of things to do on the piece. So it would have made a tremendously long video. So I didn't include it. And of course I didn't mention it. And so, she called me out on that. So, but I cleaned it. And then another thing too, is when you're cleaning, like I see a lot of people sand and then clean. And maybe you're going to cover this, but you have to clean, then sand, then wipe off the dust residue. Because if you don't, then you can drive those dust particles and whatever it is further into the substrate of the wood. So,
right. No, that's a great
point.
Yeah. So I want to know, what are your favorite cleaners since we're on cleaning?
I like White Lightning from Dixie Belle, and vinegar, and Dawn Power Wash.
Yeah, I go for the Dawn Power Wash most of the time. Vinegar, if something is stinky, and I just looked this up about the vinegar, and it says that vinegar itself does not directly cause fish eye, small crater like dimples where paint pulls away. Instead, fish eyes are caused by surface contamination like grease, oil, or silicone, or an incompatible surface. So it sounds like maybe there was something that needed to be washed again with the vinegar.
Possible. Yeah. Yeah, that's maybe I missed the spot because I use steel wool and cleaning vinegar. So maybe I missed that little spot.
Well,
that's
man, you think steel wool would get it.
Right. Yeah. So I probably just missed the spot. I always assumed it was because I didn't rinse the vinegar good enough.
Yep. And that's a good point too on the vinegar, because I used that recently. I had a musty smelling dresser I was working on, and I just sprayed the vinegar, mixture of vinegar and water on the inside, and that took care of it. I was really surprised. So, okay, moving on. Let's talk about repairs. Okay, so
let's see what some of these. Oh, I can't. I was trying to hit up what Bronnie and Jeannie were saying. Bronnie's used TSP, vinegar, and dish soap combined with elbow grease.
I like that.
So like all of them mixed together or just different? And then Jeannie said it's a very nasty, dirty. If it's very nasty, dirty, I use grease lightning. maybe she meant white lightning, because then she says, and then rinse the white lightning off.
I like the grease lightning.
Well,
And by the way, white lightning is a TSP cleaner. So
has anyone ever pressure washed? You know, took the spray washer, took it down to the car wash and sprayed it.
no,
No?
I see a lot of
no, I mean, I think a lot of times that's going to kind of, I don't want it to like raise the grain of the wood, you know, unless
Sure.
it's like something that's like hideously dirty.
I took some
Grease lightning
chairs.
really is a thing, because Jeannie says grease lightning is for the grease. So
Oh,
it's gotta be a product.
yellow. It's in a yellow and white and black bottle. I think I've seen it before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about repairs. So some of the common problems that I've come across are holes or chips, joints like your drawers and stuff that need to be glued, peeling veneer, and then of course chipping. I said that, and then broken or missing hardware. Is that pretty much what you guys find when you're flipping furniture? The repairs are pretty much limited to that.
that and sometimes like it depends like on the like I find this especially on dressers, like it has that what do you call it, joint and tenon, is that it, you know, joinery, and then sometimes that glue breaks free and then it kind of separates, so like the main bar that goes across, you can see that it's separated from the side, so sometimes you have to, you know, re-glue and clamp all that stuff up before you get started too.
What are some, when you're flipping, what are some common things that you see that you're like, oh, I wish people would not do this? And mine, of course, is nails. Please don't nail. I see these people nail stuff and the nails are just backing out and they're causing the wood to split when just regular wood glue would have done the trick.
Yeah, they said the bond that wood glue makes is actually stronger than the wood itself.
Yes. Another thing that I have seen that a mistake is that thinking that you cannot repair water damage veneer. I have had really good luck. You just wet the veneer and then you get the glue underneath and clamp it down. And I have had really good luck with water damage veneer. Now I've not had extensive, but I've had a lot of projects that have been. How about when to use Bondo, when to use wood dough, when to use Dixie Belle mud?
I think Bondo's, you know, necessary when it's a leg or something, you know, or something kind of like on the edge of a dresser or something, like a chunk knocked out of the corner. Like you really need to fill it in. And I have found, you know, that the Dixie mud is not gonna be a lasting repair, you know, but you might fix it with the Bondo and then come back in with the mud after it's dry, you know, just to fill in a little bit, but that's been my experience. But there's all kinds of cool wood fillers, and I know you use that PC Woody, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and what's the other one that it's a two-part, and you just, yeah. So I find that really dries hard, and I like that. And also, what's the other one with that you mix with water?
Oh, I haven't done one that you mix with water.
Oh, in the canister, it looks like
Yeah, and it's got a guy on it, like with
yeah,
his arm up.
the strong man. Let me look. I'm gonna look.
Okay.
I can't think of it, but I like that one too.
Well, those two parts, like
Water
two-part
putty. Sorry, I just thought of it, Levon. Water putty.
That's
water
it.
putty. Okay, I've not used that.
That wasn't what I was thinking of. There's a name, a specific brand, I guess. Durham's. Yes, it
Durham.
is water putty. Durham's water putty.
Oh, okay, that's good. Then we learned about a new recommended product that we've not used. So
Yeah, I've
think
used it
if you're
before. and
going to
It's
mix it with water, you can get it to the consistency that you need. I mean, depending on what you're doing, it may change the consistency and the product that you want to use. If I've got some kind of really big loose hole from somebody nailing or screws that were really knocked out loose and it's really, really big, you know, I might take and get some really firm, I like, Gorilla Wood putty, but I'm having trouble finding it. And I'll just fill that in there really hard. It will shrink, but you're supposed to be able to still drill on through that. And then it gives you more strength when you put screws that you might have to put back in the same place using that same putty. If I have a piece that is scratched beyond repair someplace, I might have to skim coat that whole piece. And if I'm going to be skim coating a whole piece, like using a trowel or a straight edge, I'm going to take and mix that really thin. So I'm kind of just going over the top so I don't have as much to sand off, but it's still getting down in them cracks.
Yeah. Has anybody ever used good filler, wood and grain filler?
mm-mm.
Because when I looked up that Durham's water putty, there's all kinds of wood fillers coming up, and I have never seen that. And I was just wondering if any of you had ever used it.
Well, Dara was just talking about skim coating, and DAP has a grain filler that I used recently, and kind of like that. You know, for people that have oak and they don't want to see the grain, oak is
Mhm.
super grainy, so that can give you a nice skim coat, so you don't see that wood grain coming through.
You can use joint compound for a skim coat too.
Oh yeah.
Yep, you water it just a little bit, and it works really good. You get a lot for your money.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and we were just talking about filling hardware holes. So a lot of times, I don't know how everybody, because there's so many different ways of filling. Well, I say there's so many. There's pretty much you fill hardware holes with either epoxy. I've seen people do it with Bondo. I wouldn't ever recommend like the wood fillers, like the ones that come in the tube. I can't think. I would never recommend those to fill the holes with, because those things dry up and crack really bad. But I prefer to put a dowel in there. If the hole's big enough, I'll just glue a dowel in, as the video showed. But when you sand those flat, if you don't put some kind of filler over it, it will show through when you paint it. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. I have tried a trick with sanding it and then doing Dixie Belle mud over it and then priming it to see if I can still see it. Another thing that I did recently that worked really well is I put PC Woody over it, and that really did work. I've done Bondo in the past, and I've still been able to see it, but that PC Woody just did such a good job. So I highly recommend that one. Okay.
Well, if you've got something where you're trying to match the wood, there is always, you take your glue and you save your shavings and you mix it together with your glue and then use that to give you that more same color, tone, texture of the wood that your piece is. I have done that on occasion. It works okay.
Yeah, that's a good solution.
Mhm. Yep. And it's always juggling, by the way, because a lot of times, like if you're gluing drawers, you have to leave those sit overnight. If you're using PC Woody, you're going to leave, that's going to take a cure time overnight. So sometimes when you have a question on as to whether I'm going to use Bondo or PC Woody, I use Bondo because the cure time is really quick, and it
Hmm.
just depends. So I don't know if you guys balance those at all or if those are ever an issue.
I have a 2-part epoxy mix that can be used for just about everything, making things to filling holes. And I like it better than Bondo because it mixes up like a putty. I mean, you can mix it in your hands. I mean,
Oh,
they recommend you wear gloves, but I
Yeah.
never do. Um,
JB Weld, yeah.
well, this is called epoxy sculpt.
Oh, I've not used that one, but I
Yeah,
bet
that's the name brand of it. Epoxy sculpt. I've
Oh,
used it for filling holes and things before, but it's got to be something you're going to paint because you're not going to carry your wood color through that. You're going to have to cover it up with something. But it works well. I mean,
okay.
because you can take and you have something that's really big and long. You can take and make a long snake. Set it in there. Take a little knife and then go along and clean it down and really get it in where you want it.
Okay.
And that will get hard. You have some work time with that, way longer than what you would the regular epoxy. Um, I want to say it starts setting up in about an hour, but then you have to remember what your weather conditions are, what your humidity is, uh, what the
Heat.
temperature actually is. That is going to affect any drying times.
Yes. Yeah. I was just going to mention that. I've noticed that even Bondo, like if I'm trying to work something and it's hot out, it'll set up really fast. So, yes, that's a good point. All right. And so, since we said paint, let's go to the next slide, which talks about staining and cure times. So I don't know how often or what kind of stains. What kind of stains does everybody use?
everything.
Oh, everything Minwax to
Yep.
gel
Gel,
stain,
Dixie Belle.
Dixie Belle.
Yeah, I don't use stain much, but when I do, I love to use a water-based stain, and I use Voodoo Gel stain from Dixie Belle. Or if I do use an oil-based, it's the other one they make, the oh gosh, I can't even think of what it's called. But anyway,
No pain
that's
gel. Is it the no
yeah,
pain gel stain?
no
Okay.
pain gel stain. Thank you. How quickly they forget, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had heard, I think it was somebody was complaining about Minwax products, and I just had a really bad experience on my last project with the Minwax. And I have been using Varathane gel stain up to that point, but I just happened to be somewhere where, they had the Minwax and I picked it up and it was really clumpy. Anyway, so I'm not saying that their stains are bad. This could have been something that was sitting on the shelf, but it did not cover the way that a gel stain will cover. And then for those that don't know, gel stain is a mixture of paint and stain, and it can really hide some of those things like we were talking about earlier. I actually had a project that I had used Bondo on, and the gel stain actually blended. You couldn't tell it was Bondo, so, but it has to be the wood color Bondo. So the part about staining and the cure times, if you're planning to seal your wood after you stain it, and you're going to use an oil-based stain, and then you're going to use a water-based poly, say, you got to let that cure. And you know, most places would not recommend that you do mix water base and oil base. But I talked to Sherwin Williams, and the guy over there said no, as long as you let the stain fully cure, whatever it is, a week or 2 weeks, then you can seal it with a poly, with a water based poly. So I just wanted to mention that to, you know,
You could do it in 3 days.
yeah.
They
And I
won't
don't.
tell you that, but I've been doing it for the last 8 years
Mhm.
because I use polyacrylic sealer no matter what on everything that I do. And 3 days and you could do it.
3 days. Okay.
And I have pieces in my house that I've had for 8 years that have been done that way.
Oh, 3 days. That's good. Good to know. Yeah, I usually wait at least a week, but you know, the big thing is oil and water doesn't mix. But in
Right.
this case, you know, if you let it cure properly, you can. And then maybe not known to everyone, and I just want to make sure that, you know, we're covering things that maybe you didn't never thought of or that you hadn't experienced, but the higher grit that you sand something, the less the stain will absorb into it. And I don't know if anybody has had that or experienced that. So if you know, you're having a hard time with your stain and you're like, oh, the stain's not absorbing. If you've used too high of a grit, it's not going to be able to absorb. It's just like what paint. Paint doesn't stick. You have to rough up a surface. And this is the same thing. And then another thing you may or may not know, when you're sanding or when you're going to stain something, if the corners are very sharp, the stain actually can't absorb onto those corners. And so a lot of times if I've cut some fresh wood or whatever, I will go over it with a sandpaper on the corners just to give it a larger surface for the stain or paint to absorb. So I didn't know if that was common knowledge or not.
Yeah. What was it, Bronny or Jeannie? One of them mentioned about what they typically always use for stain is they're just making a water stain with their paint. Like Crystal does that a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like for a
And then
wash.
Yeah.
a wash. There's the word I'm looking for.
Good
A
point.
water wash.
Good point. Let's see.
Especially if you want some kind of different color. And you can always start lighter with a wash. And if it's let it dry, and if it's not quite what you want, then go over it one more time.
True. Yeah. I see that Bronny made a comment about using Fusion top coat or anti-Sloan wax for sealing. And so that kind of brought me to another question about things that have to be done in order. If you wax something, can you poly over it? And I think I've asked this before. What's your take on waxing and poly?
Well,
Same thing.
I've done it. I've done it. Cerusing. If you are going to ceruse something, you have to really make sure that once again that wax is completely cured and dried before you put your poly over, because if it isn't, you'll notice right away, because I think it's going to do that fisheye thing at you.
If you wait a couple days, though, you can. I always seal wax. Back when I first started, I had a vendor. She was doing furniture, and she loved waxing her pieces, but that was always it. Like she stopped there, and I had a lot of customers. Hey, my wax isn't really holding up, and man, it was a conversation quite often. Unfortunately, this was like a couple years down the road from those pieces. So I wonder how many artists use the waxes and don't realize that it doesn't always hold up like you want it to, even though it cures rock hard and what have you. But I consistently seal any wax that I do. Polyacrylic, you wait again 48 hours and you can do a little test strip and you'll see whether it's going to cover and coat and do what it's supposed to do. Typically, your waxes are done off gassing or whatever they call it after 48 hours. So you
Yeah,
probably
Bronny just said that, she's mentioning other way around, poly then wax. That's one way to do it. Depends on what kind of look you're looking for.
yeah,
There's been times, and like Jenna said, she has also, we've put wax on and then waited for it to cure and then put poly over the top of it.
yeah,
You just have to wait to make sure that it's cured and it's hard. Now, if you've got
Mhm.
like big hunkin' globs like stuck in the corners and crevices, that like when you take a rag and you wipe it and you're still having some wax come off on the rag, well, then I would say that it's probably not ready or cured enough, or maybe you need to take some more wax off before you go that route. But
yeah.
you can put Wally over wax, poly over wax.
Poly your wax.
Okay, waxing fans, what are some of your favorite waxes? Since we're on to wax, and then we'll move to the next.
I've tried it all. I have. You've heard me talk of my cemetery of unloved sprayers.
Oh, yes.
I have a cabinet full of waxes, everything imaginable. Because when I first started, I was teaching myself, like most of us have. I hadn't discovered YouTube yet, so I was just buying everything and anything that I could, which I still have pretty much almost everything. I'll tell you, my second favorite is Dixie Bells, but my absolute top favorite that I've discovered is Fusion Aging Wax. It's a black brown, so depending on what color you put it on, it can pull black or brown. But this stuff goes on like melted butter. I can't even describe how good it goes on. It's lovely. If y'all haven't tried it yet, definitely try it. But
Okay.
I also love, I would like to try that, but the Sweet Pickins dark oil wax,
I like that one. Yeah.
I love that stuff. That's kind of my new favorite thing. Except it's a little stinky, but but it does dry really nice.
I've just started using milk paint again, so I'm gonna have to get me some more.
Okay. Dar, favorite?
I don't really have a favorite though. Probably the most I have is Dixie Belle here, and I use that. I like their brown wax.
I do too.
Yeah. I had one that came from this company there. I don't think they're doing paint anymore because I tried to order some more wax from them and I could see it online, but I could not order. And it was I'll have to look it up, but theirs was a beeswax and it didn't smell. And I have clear and I have black and I really like it quite a bit. I can't recall the name anymore. And this company sold paint and they sold these waxes. Anyway, I'll have to look because I still have some of their paint too. And I have tried magnolia paint or wax, and it smells a lot like shoe polish. So I really try to shy away from those very what do I want to say? Very smelly products.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone has or is considering buying some of the Magnolia Home, just the black wax that I used was really smelly. So
I think that the more petroleum product that the wax has in it, that's usually what is going to give you that smell.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing I don't like about Fusion is it smells like dirty feet. So I don't know what it's made with. I probably should look, but it does. It does smell like dirty feet.
Did you say it smells like dirty feet?
It does.
Oh my goodness.
Lavana, I'll bring some to the furniture flip for you to have.
And then you're going to have to.
I can't wait to smell that.
Yeah, It's crazy, but it only lasts for like 5 minutes.
Huh.
Yep.
That's
That's
good to know.
crazy.
Okay, any last thoughts on staining and cure times that, when you're flipping, you got to be cognizant of? No? Okay,
Well, I don't think you have to wait as long for a gel stain or a paint wash. If you're using oil-based or a polyurethane-based stain, then yes, you're going to have to wait 24 hours or longer, depending on your weather conditions,
yeah. Well,
before you can do anything else.
certainly for gel stain, unless it's the water-based, which Voodoo, I don't know if that's considered a gel stain or not. I think gel stain is
No, it's a water-based.
Yeah, it's not considered a gel stain. So
No, they're different. The Voodoo gel stain in the bottles, I think they're more water-based, right, Levon?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the gel stain that comes in the actual jars is heavier.
right.
It has another additive in it that gives you that more gelatinous, I think, heavier cover than what the Voodoo gel stain does.
Yeah.
I mean, they both work fabulous. It just depends on what kind of look you're going for. If you still want some of that wood grain to show through, or if you need it darker to cover up marks.
Yep. Okay. Let's go on
Good
to the
word,
next.
gelatinous.
Gelatinous.
All right. So painting, patience beats panic. So I don't know about you guys, but after I've done all the repairs and I've done all the sanding and, my items are taped off and I'm get my paint out and I am ready to just dump my paint in my sprayer and go for it. But sometimes, you have to take that extra step. I just wanted to say, like, what is that? Poor planning.
Proper planning prevents poor performance.
Yes, yes. So I know a lot of us try to rush to that get that paint on there because you've worked so hard at this point. You've done all the repairs and everything. So let us talk about some common paint mistakes that we make. I would like to talk about how I like to try to paint when it's really hot. And that doesn't work out for me so well because when I spray and it's hot, it makes my paint really pebbly because the paint is drying as it's coming out of the sprayer.
It's taking the humidity out of your paint right in the air, and you're left with a little ball of colorant. I've had that happen with spray can primer when it was extremely dry here in Michigan. By the time it got onto my piece and it dried, it was almost like, sandy.
Yes.
Sandy. I had to sand it all down. It's another one of the condition things you need to be aware of.
Yeah. And sanding between coats. Man, I'm always sanding between coats, and then I like to feel how soft it gets. But that's generally with chalk paint, and I don't know too much because I use chalk paint and I use Bear Flat, which is really close to a chalk paint. But how about some of these other paints that what are like the all-in-one paints? Of course, you don't spray those very much, do you?
All-in-one paint?
Oh, yeah, I guess you could spray them.
Yeah, you can spray them. You can even add a little bit of water to it. But I like to sand in between coats of an all-in-one. I mean, I'm typically using Dixie Belle Silk, and I've used I tried Fusion Mineral, which I know you love it, Jenna, but I wasn't in love with it.
It's too thin for the type of painting you do.
Yeah, that's just it. It's too thin. Most of the colors gave me good coverage, except for I think yellow's difficult with almost any brand to get good coverage. But the other one too, I'm trying to think. Heritage, I like that paint. It's very nice. I like it. But anyway, I'm doing a dresser bedroom furniture for a client right now. And I did the dresser the first day, and then she commented on how smooth it was, and that's just sanding in between coats, and I'm using a roller, so it's a self-leveling paint, so that helps.
Ronnie said she's got misting fans and she uses them in summer because it's so hot for so long. And if she waited for cool days, she'd never paint.
Yeah.
I wonder how that affects. Do you actually get that humidity or that little water droplet in the air that it could affect the way you're paint, or is it usually dry down by the time you get to where you're at?
Oh, I like to paint on humid days. Spray paint, I think it goes on really well. I mean, not Michigan humid. we do get that here, but it rains soon after that. But if it's a nice humid day and it's not too hot, the paint goes on really well, and it dries not as quick as it would, in Texas weather. Let's see. Spray versus brush painting. I think there's some applications where brush painting, you just almost want that.
I've done, kitchen cabinets, and I've sprayed, and I've also done, I've had a lot of different experiences with it, but if I'm going to use like an all-in-one, then I definitely want to use a roller. I don't really love to spray, but I did when I did. I had a real huge kitchen, and I did all the doors, and they all came out really nice. So I have to admit it was a good job. But I recently did one that I used chalk paint, and of course I had to seal it and everything, but definitely did all the sanding in between coats and everything with that. But I don't know, I'm not a sprayer. I like using a brush or a roller. I like the aesthetics of using a brush for the most part.
Yep, and I think that's the people that like that super smooth will prefer the sprayer, and then those that like that textured paint look are going to use the brush. So
Yeah,
well, with the roller, I'm getting real smooth results. I'm using a foam roller and sanding in between coats, and it's giving me real smooth.
Good.
yeah.
And what paint are you using there?
Dixie Belle Silk.
Yeah, that's an all-in-one paint. That's where I get my best results with the foam roller. Nice and smooth. It looks like it was sprayed. Even if I brush it on, I use it a lot on picture frames, and they turn out really, really nice. Like as far as, depends on what you want to create. It's like Kara from Lemons to Lemonade. You're going to see her use her Wagner sprayer all the time because she's trying to flip them pieces more like a higher end professional looking piece, and not like a art piece like versus Lau. Lau, I don't know, she may have used a sprayer, but she wouldn't use a sprayer in her piece because she's looking for the texture and the uniqueness and a statement piece that is something, unique. So I think, it depends on what you want. I have a sprayer. It's actually probably 8 years old right now, and I have been wanting to get another one. And I think I'm going to get the one. Kara has the same one that you have, Mara. I think I'm going to go ahead and try that Wagner. It looks like it might be pretty good.
Is it the Flexio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. That's what I used for those cabinets. And then the people that I did the cabinets for, those are the people that I used their garage. He just borrowed it, and he sprayed all of his they're totally redoing their basement, and he did all his drywall and everything.
So go ahead, Jenna, because I know you have something to say and you're aching to say it.
4 different Wagners in my cemetery. I don't know. I tried 4 different models, literally, and I also used the air compressor style, and I hated those. So I finally ended up with the Super Finish Max on Amazon. It's $79. And literally about 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, was when my first original finally blew up on me
Oh, wow.
from like 8 years ago.
Well, I was thinking about you this weekend because I have a home right that I started with
Yeah.
and I moved to the Wagner, but I went to use my home right and it wouldn't work. And I was like, oh, I
No,
throw it away. So
That's what I have right now is the home right.
I love the home right. I have 11 of them now. I love it. I don't think I can
11.
else.
all right, we got to press on to try to get through this. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is hardware. Like, when is the best time to put on the hardware? And I'm pretty sure most of you are going to say at the end.
Ugh, no.
All right, good, because this was.
Please, am I the only one that doesn't think that?
Go ahead.
I watch so many people do it at the end, and I guess for me, probably not anybody else because I don't see it happen too often. But I know once before when I was saving it till the end, one time I slipped when I was coming across with my drill, and right across the paint, my
Yep.
drill bit shot, and I had to repaint and fill.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm doing it before I paint. I don't understand why everybody waits till the end.
You know, I was doing the same thing. And when I was putting this together, I was thinking to myself, why am I always waiting for the end to drill the holes? And then what if I do slip, or what if I make the hole in the wrong spot?
Yeah.
Because I almost did that, last week. And so I'm going to say that I'm going to start changing that up, and I'm going to pre-drill my holes at least. And then obviously the last part would be to put on the hardware, like installing it. But
Right.
yeah,
And
good point, Jenna.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
it'll,
Go ahead.
I think it depends too on, situations. Sometimes I paint over hardware if I'm going for that look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I know we had to squish those last couple of projects in. I just really wanted to cover real quick. You don't have to make a list, but definitely when you're cleaning, that gives you the focus to where you can really get up close. So, I mean, not only should you clean your piece prior to, because if you're going to sell it or even for yourself, you definitely want to make sure that there's no buggies or animal droppings left over, because you don't know where maybe you do, but not all pieces that I get, I don't know where it's been. But it's really important too, is that you can get right up close and personal with, what you're working on when you clean it. Then, your next step is doing all those repairs. And then staining and cure times. Remember, think about different products and how long it takes to cure, so that you can at least not stress yourself out trying to meet deadlines. Then painting, of course, make sure you take all of the precautionary steps prior to painting, and your weather can be a factor, which we've talked about. And then installing hardware, best to drill your holes first. I also wanted to say, if you have hinges, please it's not enough to just keep them with the drawer, but if you're like I did kitchen cabinet doors, I took the hinges off and I didn't mark where they came from. And now on every project, I'm completely crazy about where those hinges came off to put them back where they go, because my doors didn't align when I put them back together. And so that is it for this evening. So I'm going to close that
I
slide.
have a few slides that I put in there. Let me see. So I just want to say too, I apologize for being in and out. And here's the situation. I'm on my phone now. I've had no problems, yet I have it on Wi-Fi, which is the same Wi-Fi that my computer was failing on. And while I'm sitting here, if you've seen me looking this way, because the computer's there, and I was doing diagnostics on the computer stay in the perfect health of my computer. So I think it's a StreamYard with my computer problem. So anyway, just saying. And I don't usually have this problem on Tuesday nights. So maybe it's when I'm
what I said.
sharing the stream, that might be it. So anyway, we have some upcoming challenges and I hope that I can present them here from the phone. This should be interesting. And I hope I didn't cut you off, Mara.
No, absolutely not. Because I was going to say we have some upcoming challenges.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
should talk about them.
Yeah. So I have no idea what's going to come. Oh, okay. That's good. I think that's the first one that we were going to talk about, which is coming up June 20th. And that's our Flippin' Bunch is hosting this thrift flip challenge for America's, I'm going to say it again, I think, semi quincentennial. That's I got it. Anyway, yeah, so one or more thrift flips. June 20th. Oh, and then this is a new one that I'm co-hosting with our friend Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling. It's a outdoor living, gardening. If you like that kind of thing, then that one is coming up. I think it's June 27th. I can't read it. I have my contacts in and my phone's tiny.
June 27th.
Okay. And then the Flippin' Bunch is also hosting the Layered Stencil Furniture Flip Challenge on July 11th. And Dar, you should explain that one.
Well, when I did the layered stencil program, a lot of you ladies had an idea. Let's have a challenge where we do layered stenciling, and I am going to try to follow the recipe that I gave in that program. But you guys stencil and layer whatever you want. However you want to do it. However, it has to be a furniture, but layer it however you want.
Okay. And I think there's one more here. Yes, of course. You can explain that one too, the unique antique challenge.
Let your flowers grow, anything goes. Furniture flipping challenge. That's August 29th. That is the unique antique challenge, which is always hosted by our lovely Crystal from the Crafty Creech. And since I was awarded the honor with my piece last time, I am co-hosting with her. It doesn't have to be flowers. I mean, it can have flowers on it. It's just that a piece of furniture and anything goes. Whatever's going to make you happy.
Whatever floats your boat, huh?
Yeah, we want happy.
Yeah. Okay. Did I miss any?
No,
I think that's it for now.
So.
But let me say that today is double day, so double down and vote for Dar. Dar is in the, you explain that one too.
Right now, tomorrow will be another cut and we go to the top 15 in my group. I think I'm good because when I last looked, I was number 5. And then 7 more days, we'll go to 10 in the top group. And then 7 more days, we'll go to the top 5. And then I'll probably really start to get a bit nervous there. Because when we get to the top 5, that's it. The top 5 in my group, which is a furniture flipping or something with furniture, then the winner will be picked to go to the quarter finals. And then you'll have to go up against all the different groups. And I don't know how many groups there are. It's kind of like a big mystery. Yeah, but tonight is double night. And I'm going to probably remind you guys when they do this double one, because you can vote once and they'll give you 2 votes for me, which is really, really awesome. And make sure you just scroll down all the way to the bottom because that's where it says free vote. that's where you got to hit. They got this vote up there at the top by my face, but you can click and then it doesn't do anything. You got to go way down to the bottom. And if we win, I win. Levon and I are going to go to Las Vegas.
Hey.
Woo.
And we're hoping Johnny
Yeah,
Depp
I
will
mean,
be
if you
there.
throw $10 at it, you get 20 votes today.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
And
That's true.
and tell them what the benefit of that is. I mean, it is a fundraiser after all.
It is. Jeannie looked this up for us last time. It is a Class A nonprofit organization, and I have noticed Levon sent me one little snippet, and I've noticed a few from other people where they are dropping out of this competition because they do not like the way that it's being handled with the voting. Because you can only put one vote in every 24 hours. But if you want to pay or donate to their organization, then you can get more votes that way. I can't pay for myself, but like other people can donate. Like I think the lowest is like $10. Well, they were not liking that. And I don't think they understand what the art of Elysium does, and I'm looking into it more. You can be a volunteer artist and work with their organization and take art activities to underprivileged children, to veterans, to home care facilities, elderly facilities, and bring them different types of art projects to do, because it's all about what art brings to an individual's life and smiles and relaxation. And that's what the money goes for. They will send me money if I tell them I've already been approached to do this for the kids in this area. If I tell them I'm going to do this many kids, this is what I plan to do. Would you send me the funding for this program? And they'll say yay or nay. But that's where the money goes to. So I wasn't quite understanding. I realize if you have a lot of money, you can buy your win. But it's a good organization. And if it opens more people's eyes about what art can do for other people, which I know for myself, art does a lot for me, that would be great. And then the other thing was about the copyright. They were not liking that. But if they're going to take pictures of your items and put them in their, I think it's a quarterly magazine, it goes worldwide, you're going to have to give them some copyrights to take your pictures. And if somebody wants to copy a piece that I did, more power to you, because if you do, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who will copy your work, Dar. You're very intricate as far as detail.
So that's what it's all about. Yeah, we're going for it. I'm just sad it's getting a bad rap that people didn't read the information enough to realize what they are really about. That's the Art of Elysium. It's a gallery out of LA. And that is where Johnny Depp first sold his first artwork out of that gallery when he was really down and out. And that was the first time I think he really opened up with his artwork and he shared it with the world. And he did a fantastic job, and he made millions and millions of dollars.
Well, pretty
Okay.
exciting. So we're
voting.
yep, we're voting. We're voting.
Okay, guys, that's a wrap. I appreciate everybody being here tonight and all of your comments. Always appreciated. And I don't know who's on next or what the next topic's going to be. Anybody know? No.
Dar.
I think
never
it's
know.
Levon, and then it's me, and then it's Crystal.
Okay.
Unless anybody else has something in between there they want to, bring up.
Okay, team. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you all, and good evening. We'll see you
All
next
right, you
week.
did a great job, Mara. We love you guys.
Hour went by fast.
It
Bye.
did.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.